Hey folks, welcome to the Triple T Thursday. For those just joining us, that's Tools, Tips, and Talk, where we'll discuss info for the knife maker. In today's episode, I'm going to do something that my wife's been bugging me to do for a long time. And that's get a knife, an early knife that I did, and show you guys and critique it. So my good friend Dan, who's the best man at our wedding, I made him a knife as a thank you for being in our wedding. And this was over 5 years ago, so this is a really early knife. This is my first hidden tang, first Damascus, first pommel, a lot of firsts in this blade. I really went balls to the wall on this blade. Again, it's a really early one. I really don't like the blade. Most knife makers dread seeing some of their early work, but I'm going to show you guys, critique it, go through it with you, and tell you where I went wrong and maybe a few things I like about it. Let's go take a look. All right, folks, so here it is. It was kind of a Bowie-esque knife. I did a Kydex sheath for it. Not proud of that. The sheath actually came up over the guard, which is kind of wacky, but let's take a look. So, there it is. Really honking thick blade. I think it's got to be over a 1/4 inch here. Yeah, right at a 1/4 inch. So really, really thick blade. It was a low layer Damascus. You can kind of see the layers there. I sucked at etching, so I didn't end up actually leaving it with an oxide finish. I ended up sanding it just because back then I couldn't get a really nice finish on it. And that's why you see like a polished finish, but you still see the layers. So the Damascus itself is actually, there's no inclusions in the weld. The weld actually went really well. So that's one plus about this knife. I don't think there's a lot of pluses about it, but that's one. The profile obviously has some issues. You'll notice that the ricasso is full width. It doesn't come in here, so that's kind of weird. The guard is really blocky, not very symmetrical, and a terrible fit up. I can see gaps here and glue. So, yeah, I think I just bent a piece of metal when I did this, and I can see some grind lines, and so not real proud of that. The swedge I did by hand. I had a hell of a time doing this, the false edge here, because I was really just freehanding this, and it doesn't really match. It doesn't really come, it kind of comes to a point here, but it's really flat here. So obviously I've gotten better at that. Didn't really get it. You can tell by the width of the secondary bevel right here. I'll zoom in the camera here. The secondary bevel is quite thick, quite long. It's probably, over a 1/16 of an inch. Which means it's very thick here. Yeah, I haven't measured it, but I can feel that it's probably, 60 thousandths thick right at the edge here. Maybe 50, but yeah, I see it's got a bunch of little chipping here. Not sure what happened there, but obviously some issues with the heat treat. Probably didn't temper this high enough. It's a little chippy. So, yeah. Lots of issues with the blade itself. Then we get to the fuller. So you can see the fuller is kind of larger here. I did this with a 1/4-inch disc on an angle grinder. I actually clamped a bar to this and then took an angle grinder and went along that piece that I had clamped to it, which worked okay. It was a lot of sanding, and you know, they're not very even on both sides, but I got it done in a pinch. This is some poplar burl that I use, which is by far the most expensive handle material I had used at that time. It was like a purpley color. It looks like it had it's kind of gone a little brown, probably just from sun exposure. There's G10 spacers, and then a pommel, which I had screwed on, and then I obviously shaped it after. So this is actually a through tang, and it was the first pommel. And you can see that I had shaped the pommel, made it a little too small, and then it kind of tapers here instead of flaring at the end. And the handle's really blocky. It's just kind of taken the corners off. So lots of issues on this knife. If you guys want to start with great material to make a better blade than what I'm showing you, go check out Maritime Knife Supply. They've got steel, handle material, tools, equipment, you name it, they've got it. Go check them out. You know, what do I like about this knife? You know, the Damascus isn't bad. You know, it's a pretty decent low layer pattern. I got a really nice etch on my maker's mark, which that's pretty cool. You know, it was a first knife. A first knife. It was a lot of firsts. This was probably my 4th or 5th knife, I would say, something around there. You know, I really wanted to try a whole bunch of new things. This was before the YouTube channel, so I was just trying a whole bunch of techniques in one knife, and you know, just giving it a shot. So I figured I would do this video and show you guys this knife, as embarrassing as it is, but yeah, we all started somewhere. Thanks, folks. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you on the next one.